And so you hear the gong. And here we are back together after a week of separation in body, but not in soul. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you all on board. Just to let you know, if you don't like Facebook, we are also now streaming live right now, this very moment, on YouTube. So welcome, everybody who's tuned in to the YouTube channel, The Ancient Master. So now we are just covering both sides. Nice to have you on board, everybody. May this hour of power be a wonderful time of refreshment, and that you just enjoy the time here while you're going to learn tonight about some beautiful stuff about the loops, going around in circles. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So all the familiar faces here, everybody, welcome here tonight. Everybody, I recognize everybody, familiar faces. And may this evening be an eye-opener for you. By the way, I hope you've got something strong with you, like I'm having my, what's inside here? Honey tea with a drop or two of lemon, just to keep my voice tonight strong. Right. I'm very excited about the topic that I'm going to share with you tonight. And I see it's 2 minutes past 6, so I may as well just introduce the topic to you. But as a ritual, I always say this is our opportunity, Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, to relax, to reflect, and to reset yourself and position yourself for the coming week. And that's exactly why we have these meetings on a Sunday evening, to uplift you. And I'm so privileged to have you on board here tonight, that you have decided to be here, to spend your time on this platform here. This is great. Yes, let me just look at the excitement. That's just ginger beer. Oh yeah, that's also an excellent one. Mari, altyd lekker om te wees. Yes, good evening, Bongewe. Good, and yes. It's difficult for me now to approve someone to try to get access. They should have done it earlier, because I am now focusing on the instrument panel here, and I'm not on Facebook at this stage to let them in. So they must just, if they are there with you, let them just watch with you. But let me see, because otherwise I have to exit Facebook and then you will be off air. So I can't approve anyone when I am live. So it's just impossible. I will then cause the whole broadcast to dismantle itself. So unfortunately, that those who still want to get access to, they must just rather wait until next week, or even better, year after. Remember, everything that we are doing here will be available also on the YouTube channel. So that is the good news. So if you miss out, then that person can watch the video later on. But it's so fantastic to have you here tonight. And so keep on posting your questions, your comments, how your week was, because that also gives me an indication, and that may also allow that to influence me in terms of the direction that I would like to follow with you tonight. Oh, by the way, the system of Facebook is designed like that. If you ask for approval and I don't immediately approve you, the system automatically also adds you. So there's good news. So that person must just wait a little bit, so the system will automatically add them on, because we want to add them on. We don't want to exclude people here. This is such an awesome experience here of what's going on in people's lives here, and the testimonies that people are giving here in terms of their experiences and their breakthroughs that they're having, because the stuff that we are sharing here, it's working. For many of you, it's basically, I think, for many of you, it's new. It's strange. My angle is new. But it's challenging, but yet it's uplifting and not judgmental by any means. Some of you this week told me, Jeff, we agree with wholeheartedly what you're saying. We love it. We tune in every week, and it's fantastic to tune in. But I am still struggling to implement it in practicality. So I hear you. I hear you, and many of you will also perhaps agree with that and relate to that concern. So that's why I keep on repeating the formula. It's a formula that I am teaching you, and you will keep on finding out that I am actually repeating myself deliberately to help you to understand the simplicity of the concept, but yet also the discipline that you need to follow to start implementing it on small scale. And we have to start somewhere, because we are talking here not about getting fixed. So far, in many therapies, the concept of fixing is very prominent. Here, we focus on shifting. So you hear every evening, I talk about a quantum shift. This means it's a radical shifting that is possible once you understand the concept and the formula that I'm teaching you here, how you can absolutely make it yourself and start applying somewhere in order to get your breakthrough that you want. So let's see what the focus will be on tonight for, is namely to break the loop, that cycle. And the challenge here tonight, the tagline is how you can shift into your true self and create a new future, a new reality. And what is necessary for us to break this loop? Pongiwe, you mentioned green tea. Oh, I know green tea is very good, but that's a different discipline to drink that stuff. But I know it's very, very good, so I fully agree with you on that one. Yes. And my intro words about breaking the loop is that many of you will say, Jeff, I'm finding myself trapped in a cycle. I'm not making any progress. Just when I think I'm making progress, something happens. Then everything collapses. Just when I think I'm having the breakthrough, I'm on the brink of my miracle, then there's a spanning in the wheel. Am I talking to the right audience here tonight? You can relate to that, eh? I understand that because I've been there myself. So what is it? What is it? How does it work? How can we make the shift? And before we can talk about the how, so what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to show you first to become aware of this particular loop, how the loop looks like, how it works in your life, in other words, how it functions. So we are talking here about the predictable loop because you've been there before. You've done it. You got the t-shirt, but you keep on wearing the dirty t-shirt over and over, and it's happening over and over, and just when you find yourself, it's happening again and again and again. Let me show you. Some of you know me for years now, and who's been with me in coaching or mentoring or therapy, you will recognize this model that I've been sharing with you. The clock system of the predictable loop that people find themselves in. Look there, this unique clock. There's a 12, 3, 6, and a 9 o'clock position. When you find yourself in a 12 o'clock position, you are in a temporary stage of calmness, peace, restoration, and everything seems to be fine. This is after you and your spouse, for instance, who have a marital problem. You broke up, but you're coming back just with the hope to make things work, to fix it. Remember, the word fix here is applicable, not shift. And what happens? During the 12 o'clock position, everything seems to be honky-dory. Wonderful. I am on top of the world. Wonderful, wonderful. But then everything starts to shift towards the 3 o'clock phase, where tension starts to build up, and then, as a result of that trigger, ring events are being activated. Those old stuff is coming out, the past. When we dig up the past, the trigger is always a sign of unresolved past issues in our lives. So now it gets triggered. I see this loop is also in marriages, in abusive relationships, dysfunctional relationships, and we can also make this loop available to people who are struggling with bad habits and also who are struggling with addiction. So now the trigger happens. And from the 3 o'clock to the 6 o'clock phase, you are now in autopilot. It happens extremely fast. After the trigger happens, within a nanosecond, you respond in anger, in offense, getting a panic attack. And it happens so quickly that you don't often even know why you are responding to it, because it happens many times on the subconscious level. But nevertheless, the trigger has been activated. And now you find yourself suddenly in the setback, in the panic attack. Now the panic attack happens at 6 o'clock. You have a fallout, a serious fallout with your spouse. The person with the alcohol problem starts to drink again. The person who decided, I want to stop smoking, is back smoking. And you give up. And what now happens? You apply self-damage, harming yourself there. And this is where maybe you and your spouse decide now to disconnect from each other. You walk out, you pack your bags, your suitcase, and you walk out. You walk out of the situation. And it happens so quick, but that's what happens. That's where you cannot tame your tongue and you say things that you will afterwards regret at 9 o'clock. Now you realize, oh goodness, what have I done? What did I say now? Look here, this is, oh, I'm so sorry for what I did. Please forgive me. And there's a lot of guilt, and you blame yourself for what you've done. What a horrible person. How can I do this to myself and to my children, to my spouse? And then you go back to 12 o'clock. So between 9 and 12, what do? Oh, you behave very nicely. You are guarding your mouth. You are checking your steps. You throw the bottles away. You are very kind towards each other. But what happens between 9 and 12 is not peace, it's just the absence of war. So, ceasefire, in other words. And then you go back to 12 o'clock. And everything seems to be fine. At 12 o'clock you say, oh, I don't need medication, I don't need therapy, I don't need to see my psychologist, I don't need help, I can do it myself. I did it my way, the Frank Sinatra way. That's the 12 o'clock. But what happens? Bang, jingling, ting, ting, back. It's just waiting for the trigger to happen. And so many people do not grow. They do not develop. They do not move forward because they keep on being trapped in this predictable loop. Now the question here tonight is, what does your loop look like? What is your situation that you find yourself in this loop? So it could be many things, examples that I may not even mention to you that you find yourself being trapped in. So there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Maury, you say there, yep, I was there this week. So I know I'm speaking to the right audience, and I know this is real what people experiencing. But that's fine. Don't feel judged. That's why we are having this meeting here tonight, to see what you can do with it. Because there is a way forward. Remember? Shifting. And that's what I want to help you tonight. The idea of the predictable loop has got to do with mind programming. And we've done this aspect, we've covered this aspect so much in depth during the past 15th, tonight is the 16th episode that we're having. The predictable past, the mind programming, the predictable future, and the past and the future, which is the same. So the future is the manifestation of the past unresolved issues between you and your spouse and your friends, or your issue with yourself. We are trapped in this loop. It keeps on repeating itself, and let me tell you one thing. This is extremely exhausting when you say, oh goodness, here we go again. Back to square one. Over and over. The windscreen wiper manifestation. Over and over. And tonight I want to help you that we can shift away from it by following the formula that I'm sharing with you tonight. Bongiba, you say, just realized over the weekend that I have been so hard on myself. Yeah, that's a very, very good example. Hard on myself. And you've come to realize that at what felt like a lonely journey in the wilderness, I was somehow building a legacy in my family. Yeah, this is a beautiful way to look at your situation, how we break away from the loop. And that is powerful. That is powerful. And, there's more and more of you joining here tonight. Welcome, welcome everybody. Hello, Elise. Great to have you also on board here tonight. Hello, Esther. Long time no seeing, Esther. And so everybody, the rest, Ilani, you are all here. I love you all. I'm glad to have you all here tonight. Neelius, welcome here tonight. And so many of you, Duchess, yes, Bareki, welcome here tonight. And Sonia, hello Sonia, everybody here. Renee, hello Annelie, everybody. And Johan, you've been here tonight since the beginning. Dani, hello Dani, bly om jou te sien. And so the list goes on here of everybody who's here on board tonight. So just having my one eye there with you, and I know our friends there also. Let me just have a look at, just for curiosity's sake, if there's anyone chatting with us on YouTube. There's one or two watching us live. Hello, our YouTube friends. I think I know who you are, but you're also welcome just to comment below there to just make us aware of who's watching here from that platform. But let's carry on. We are talking here tonight about the loop that we need to break away from. That loop, yeah. So, you understand this? That's why many people can't move forward. They're trapped in the loop of the past. And I want to help you tonight with this. So let's get it started. The illusion of the mask that we are wearing, that's the first fact that why we are not making any progress, why the future is a manifestation of the unresolved, unsettled past, because we are trapped in the illusion of the mask that we are wearing, because from childhood we learn to wear masks shaped by certain expectations, fears, and even past experiences. That's why we will start faking the masked depression that many will wear even, and they will just pretend that everything is fine, but because the mask will keep us safe. Because I don't want to talk about my problem, because if I talk about my problem, aware of how miserable I actually feel. And what happens? We pretend, and as a result, subsequently, we become disconnected from ourselves. So now, as a result of that, we stay stuck. We remain stuck and disconnected from our true selves. And part of this mask that we wear problem is that we suppress our natural excitement for the sake of others, for the sake of the cause. And we suppress our intuition in favor of predictability and approval from other people's ideas, expectations. And we keep on wearing the mask. The show must go on. I have to be tough for the sake of my children. Like one person said to me, that I don't have such a luxury in my life to experience depression, because if I experience depression, acknowledge it, and my whole life falls apart, everybody else will also fall apart. And as a result, we suppress our true feelings, and we can't be ourselves, and we remain stuck. That's why I say, and I studied that last question there at the bottom, the key question, and I want you to think, before we move on, who would you be if you were not afraid of judgment? That's why we wear the mask. Afraid of judgment, not only from other people, but our own judgment. And this is what I want you to become aware of, is asking yourself, who would you be and where would you be and what would you do if you were not afraid of any judgment in your life? And to be absolutely honest with yourself, because judgment, fear of other people's opinions, fear of what if I act on my highest excitement? What will be the consequences if I pull the plug? And now, when we don't ask this question, we remain stuck wearing the mask. But we don't only wear the mask that you wear will wear you down. I repeat, the mask that you wear will wear you down. Part of escaping the predictable loop is to find your true, authentic self and to respond on that. That's the key. That's the power. That's where the breakthrough lies. That's the power within you. Let's see how it works. Right, that's the illusion of the mask. And it's time for us to really move on. And how do we do it? Here it is. There are invisible change in our lives. We're not even aware of it. And I would like to show you now tonight why we stay stuck. And the first reason why we stay stuck and remain in that loop is because of the subconscious programming. And in the next slide later on, I want to go into detail tonight to show you the subconscious programming. I'm going to give you some examples of thoughts and belief systems from childhood that keeps on replaying on autopilot in our mind, and in the majority of cases we're not even aware of it because it's a system that's running at the background. So become aware of it tonight, what thoughts and belief systems, limiting belief systems, that we are still clinging on, whether it's consciously or subconsciously from our childhood, that's causing us to be stuck in this autopilot situation. And when we experience a trigger, we are being transported back to the past, experiencing the pain. I always say, and I want to repeat it tonight again, that emotions has got nothing to do with the present moment, because your emotions is a record of the past. The triggering moment has got nothing to do with the moment. It's a transportation back to the past, reliving the past event, and in the present moment, you are responding just like as if it is really happening. And now we are struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and road rage, all of these things. So now we find ourselves in these emotional loops. We relive the same emotions daily, and this keeps us in the same reality, because our emotions put us in motion. Following this pain that we're experiencing is now we move into the state of fear of change, because your mind prefers familiarity. The mind prefers familiar suffering over the unknown. That's why so many people stay in toxic relationships. That's why so many people stay in a job that they hate. That's why people stay in a town where they grew up and everybody is gossiping there, but they stay there. That's why some families flock together in the same area, same neighborhood, and they are so toxic together, enmeshed with each other, but they rather prefer that because they fear the unknown. But what's happening, this loop that you're experiencing has got to do with energy and frequency, because your emotions and your belief systems will cause you to secrete energy. It's a frequency. And the reality that we experience mirrors our dominant emotional state that we are in. Does it make sense? Every time when you experience an emotion, it's a frequency. Good emotions can bring healing to yourself. Happiness, joy can bring healing. Laughter is good medicine. But certain emotions with a low level of frequency, like anger, anxiety, jealousy, sadness, and the list goes on, will pull you down because they're heavy. They weigh very heavy. And the reality that we experience mirrors our dominant emotional state. Your emotional state that you're in secretes and releases the frequency that you are in. And that's what I want you to become aware of tonight. Now, moving on, I want to give you some 10 examples here tonight of how people keep themselves in the loop through these invisible chains. I mean, not change, Kleingeld, but chains. We can't change because there are chains, ketangs. And this is exactly, Renee, those invisible chains that you referred to. And I want to show you now how it looks like. And I've decided to put them all on one slide because I want to stay here for a while to make you aware and of these limiting belief systems, how the predictable future is being enforced by these subconscious belief systems that we are displaying, keeping us there stuck and chained. The first one that I would like to share with you here tonight is the idea that we have to be perfect to be loved. I have to be perfect to be loved. I must be very beautiful before someone will love me. I must wear makeup before he will see me. This leads to perfectionism, fear of failure, and chronic self-doubt. That's the first one. If that's you, I want you to highlight it. Take a pencil, pen somewhere, or a note. Make a note, because that holds us back. The second one that we see is what I want doesn't matter. My needs is secondary. This creates patterns of self-sacrifice, people-pleasing, and difficulty setting boundaries, thus eventually creating more and more anxiety in our lives. The third one example I want to give has got to do with why many people suffer financially, because they learned since childhood from their parents' experiences that money is hard to earn, resulting in financial struggle, limiting beliefs about abundance, and the fear of taking risks. They stay stuck and they remain in debt. Number 4 has got to do with the idea that I'm not good enough, the imposter syndrome. And I'm going to speak more about that. This fuels this idea, this belief system, since childhood. We need to wring the neck of this bird, fuels low self-worth, the imposter syndrome that's manifesting, and then fear of pursuing big dreams. And this is what I want you to become aware of tonight. When you look at yourself, I don't think I'm good enough for this new job. I don't think I'm good enough for that new relationship. I don't think I'm qualifying. So what do? We downplay ourselves with low self-worth, loathing ourselves, and we can't make it. We can't make a success of our business because of this belief that I'm not good enough. So the fifth one is that love means suffering. There's no such a thing as unconditional love. This attracts toxic relationship. If you believe love means suffering, you have to work hard for love, then there's no natural flow. So as a result of this belief system, you're going to attract toxic relationships. You're going to become a low vibrational source of magnetism and attracting the scum of the earth. This is a frequency that we shine out, exhibit, and radiate, and this is what we get. So we attract toxic relationships. Hurt people attract hurt people. Likes attract like. That's just how the universe works. And now there's an inability to receive healthy love because I think I don't deserve it. Because love means suffering. I have to suffer. I have to sacrifice. Now the sixth one is success is for other people, not for me. Now here the lucky strike idea comes in. It's other people. It's always other people that are lucky. Why is it so that other people are lucky? And what's happening? It keeps you playing small. You're always so very safe, not taking any calculated risk. You're doubting your own potential. You're not shooting for that new position. You stay there and avoid new opportunities. Tonight is the night, ladies and gentlemen, where I want to encourage you to open your mind for the new opportunities. To also look at the blind spots, the periphery, the vital areas that you are ignoring and missing out. Number 7. I've learned this week from many people that I spoke to is that they have a belief that expressing my emotions is weak. This leads to emotional suppression, even difficulty with intimacy, and bottling up resentment. And part of your journey of recovery is where you learn to express your emotions. You learn to open up. So this is time for you to expose these limiting beliefs and to become absolutely aware of it. Here's more. Number 8. If I fail, I am a failure. If I fail, I'm a failure. I'm a total failure. Nothing is working. And now you combine all the other belief system aforementioned, combining it with this one, and now you have a messed up mindset, creating a fear-based mindset, resistance to change, and procrastination. So many of you, I heard you said to me this week, Jeff, I am a procrastinator. Why? Isn't it perhaps got to do with this mindset that if I fail, I am a failure? And now people are stuck in that loop. Can you see how many loops there are? And the loops get more embedded, more reinforced, if it's just not only one of these 10 belief systems, but more and more and more and more. And that's what I'm saying tonight, that we have to become aware of it. I have to struggle to deserve good things. It sounds so noble. It sounds so innocent. But if you look a bit closer towards this idea that I have to struggle to deserve good things because that's how you were raised up with that idea. And then it reinforces self-sabotage, burnout, and an addiction to hardship. This week I heard of someone who says, I am not going to delegate as a manager towards my subordinates, because if they can't do the job correctly, I will rather do it for them. And as a result of that, the person burned out, because they believe I have to struggle to deserve good things. And that is something that you're going to have to identify and expose in your life. Thank you so much, everybody, so far who's sharing and commenting. I'm very happy. It gives me an idea. You are giving me fuel here tonight. Renee, you say I can associate with all of this. Thanks for the session. Yes, I'm here to help you tonight, that we can break this predictable loop. Number 10, happiness doesn't last. So don't be too happy, because after great happiness, tears will always come. That's what the old people used to say. That's why I say don't really necessarily believe everything what your parents and grandparents told you. Because if more of them comes from, of these thoughts, belief systems come from them, then it's no point to cling on to them very much longer. So the belief system here is that happiness doesn't last, so don't get too comfortable in this situation. Don't get comfortable in this new relationship, because remember at the previous one, everything went bad. This is my third or my fourth relationship, and everything so far in the past is just ruins. And therefore, I cannot commit myself totally, because if I commit myself totally, I'm going to get hurt. I've learned from the past that if I commit myself, I'm going to get disappointed. So therefore, just play safe. And what happens? You don't open up, you don't commit, and as a result of that, the relationship is also not working. You get it? So that's what I love about the idea of awareness. You see, this idea of happiness doesn't last, so don't get too comfortable. It prevents true joy in our lives. It's another hostile breeding ground for anxiety, and it keeps you expecting the worst. Does that make sense? You are expecting the worst. Because of this mindset, you are reinforcing the concept of the predictable future, the loop. Can you now understand what I'm saying tonight? It's so important, vital for you to become aware of the system you mind, the belief system, the clusters. If there's 2 or 3 of them tonight that you have bought in consciously or subconsciously since childhood, it's a cluster. And they're deeply embedded in the mind, and it starts with the awareness tonight. That's what I'm helping you tonight. Great. So, let's just get further. Following this idea of the 10 different types of dysfunctional belief systems that keep us in the loop, hey, we just can't stay here. We need to move forward. How can we shift? And that's my next point. You see, all of these beliefs that I've shared with you form the foundation of the repetitive loops that keep people stuck in that predictable pattern that they are in, over and over and over and over. And as I said before, it is extremely exhausting, draining, but also causing wearing and tearing. The mask that we wear will wear us down. They act like a mental program running in the background, shaping our thoughts, our emotions, and behaviors without conscious awareness. And now you don't know why you're so unhappy. You don't know why you feel so overwhelmed, why you feel so miserable. Now, I want to help you tonight. There is a way out. There is an exit. And for the rest of this broadcast tonight, I want to help you to understand that you're going to be able to escape it and change. So here's how people get trapped in the loop. Your belief systems, as I've shared with you now, I gave you the 10 examples, All of these belief systems generate appropriate associated emotions. For instance, if you believe you're not good enough, you will feel anxious or unworthy. And if you feel anxious and unworthy, it's going to affect you in your body. It's going to wear you down. Second point of how the trap works, how the loop gets intensified and speeds up, is that our emotions drive us towards actions or even inaction, passivity, passiveness. The feeling of unworthy leads to self-sabotage, hesitation, or playing small, therefore. So emotions drive us, because I always say emotions put us in motions, in motion, in movement. But sometimes the emotion can also put us in a state of being stuck, inaction, paralyzed, the survival mode that we are in. Now, as a result of those emotions that you experience, like anxiety and overwhelmness and anger and jealousy and insecurities, that's actions that's now following. You're going to behave. You're going to respond. You're going to say stuff. You're going to do stuff. And that stuff is number 3, actions. Now you have actions. And those actions, in return, cause you to manifest your environment. Because your environment is a reflection of your inner world, your inner environment. So those actions, based on my thoughts and my belief system, keeps on reinforcing the belief. That's why when you avoid opportunities, fail to set boundaries, or settle for less, your subconscious actually says, see, I told you so. So don't even try. So the more our behaviors are negative in terms of what we believe and what we feel subsequently, those behaviors causes more havoc, more destruction, more conflict between you and your spouse and your employer or your neighbor or someone in the traffic. And that negative experience will reinforce your belief system. So it keeps on repeating itself because the brain seeks familiarity over happiness. And that's why some people keep on experiencing the bad after the other, bad after the other, trauma after the other, because the brain seeks familiarity over happiness. I'm not saying people are attracting trauma, but I've seen how people attract drama to themselves over and over because of the pattern, the cycle of familiarity that they have in their mind. So what happens? You stay in the same pattern, even if they make you miserable. Later on, people are addicted to their miserability. They keep on complaining, moaning, venting, feeling a victim, blaming society, their past, their parents, the government, everybody else. It's easy to blame others or even to blame yourself than taking responsibility. That's part of the cycle that we find ourselves in. Am I speaking sense tonight here? Not the sense of nonsense, eh? Because, I say again, if you become aware of this loop, you can see it with your 2 eyes here tonight. Your eyes become open. Your spiritual eyes open. There is enlightenment. You are shifting already. Just through awareness. That's how beautiful it is. Now, the imposter syndrome. 10 minutes ago, I said to you, I promise you that I'm going to elaborate more on the imposter syndrome, which is the persistent feeling that you're not as competent, not so talented, or deserving as others think you are. Even despite the evidence of your success, because somewhere along the line there's a wound of the past which is causing you to doubt as a result of a belief system. Now it manifests in fear. Fear of being exposed as a fraud, even when you've earned your achievements, especially when you get that new job, when you get a promotion. I want to give you some good news tonight, that the imposter syndrome isn't proof of incompetence. It's simply a proof that you are growing beyond your comfort zone. So don't see the imposter syndrome tonight necessarily as negative. You can shift instantly, as I said earlier tonight, when you reframe it in your mind by understanding that the imposter syndrome is actually a sign that you are growing and you are ready to break the loop. You are going beyond your comfort zone tonight. And you can shift it tonight instantly once you expose the areas of the imposter syndrome in your life. Some of you will face this week a challenge of stepping up, taking responsibility on a level that you've never done before, confronting someone that you've been afraid of, and you are doubting yourself. The imposter syndrome is manifesting to tell you that you are busy shifting that big challenge, that person that you have to discipline. You know who I'm talking about is that some of you, I spoke this week that you have to discipline that employee, and you are doubting it. I don't like conflict. But as you're doing it and going to do it, you are actually taking responsibility to a higher level. You are shifting. You are breaking the loop. You're no longer a people pleaser. When you say to yourself, I'm up to here, sick and fed up of people walking over me, taking me for granted, and you put your foot down, but you start doubting yourself. Once again, you are actually shaking your comfort zone. Oh, my whole table here is shifting now. But that's fine. I'm just using that as a point of illustration, that you are actually busy in the process of shifting already. You can shift tonight, just like that, if you expose actually what's going on in terms of the imposter syndrome that you're experiencing in your life, which is not necessarily to be perceived as something negative. Now, the following idea is that you're going to be confronted tonight to rewire your mind in order to escape the predictable future, the loop. And as I've said 3 times before, and the fourth time now, is awareness being the key. And I want you tonight, as you are watching and listening, to observe the old patterns without judgment. Go back to that previous slide that I've shared with you earlier. If you want to review this and replay this video afterwards, go back to those belief systems, observe them, explore them, and reflect on them. And when you identify and you relate to it, don't beat yourself up. Just observe without judgment. Now you must understand, as I said earlier, that thoughts create reality. So, in other words, change begin by choosing different thoughts and emotions. You're going to be confronted to change those thoughts and belief systems once you realize tonight that those beliefs do not serve me anymore. Any longer, they don't serve me. I have therefore no use of them. I need to discard them, throw it away in the dustbin, in the mental dustbin, to let it go, to non-attach myself from it. How do we do it? Through your daily programming. How do we do it through daily programming? Your visualization techniques, your affirmation, and your mindfulness practices that we've shared so many times over these past 15th, tonight the 16th episode, to reset your journey, the trajectory that you're on, the path that you have to make amends and reprogramming yourself. And as I said before in previous episodes, the easiest way to do it is the way you wake up every morning, to start with a gratitude prayer and then to visualize. But more about that very soon. I want to show you tonight. Here's another concept following daily programming. How you need to reset the belief system from, or detox yourself from the old belief systems by letting it go. When something stinks in your house, you don't keep it there and you're not going to nurture it any longer. You throw it away in with a mouth and a face of disgust. And likewise, this is the same that you need to do with toxic thinking and belief systems. Once you're aware of it, you don't want to cling onto it any longer because it's not true. It doesn't serve you. And how do we do it? With the concept of embodiment, where you learn to act as if your future self is already here. Your brain and your reality must follow and will follow. Embodiment, the ability to act as if your future self is already here. Now, what does this mean? Let me show you. Are you ready? Let me show you here. Here's the key. Very important. Are you still awake? Right, here we come. The quantum shift. The ability to become your authentic self. And here we go again, as I always say, is to identify what excites you at every given moment and to react on your highest excitement, follow through, enjoy it, because passion is the compass of your higher mind that leads to the alignment in your life. If you don't follow this principle, if you don't follow this recipe, this formula, by following your highest excitement, but rather responding to your lower self, so what's going to happen? You're not going to get any results. Your higher self is where the universe, where God will speak to you in your heart. This is what excites you now, not your lowest excitement, which is based on ego, selfishness, greed, lust, fear, those things that weigh you down, that hold you back, but your highest excitement at every given moment. Not only what excites you in general, but to ask yourself, what excites me right now at 18:54 Sunday evening? That's why you are tuned in, because you are reacting, responding to what your highest excitement for this present moment is. And this is how it works. And when we follow our highest excitement, as I said, passion becomes the compass that leads you to your alignment. And as you follow your highest excitement, you're going to let go of control You're going to have to learn to trust the process of life in faith. Respond to it, react on it. Because God is already showing you, my child, this is the direction. You're going to have to learn to trust the process without forcing the outcomes. Some of us try so hard to make it, and there's always continuously resistance. You're trying to kick open the door, but it doesn't open for you because you're trying to be a control freak. You're thinking too much about the end result instead of enjoying the journey. And when you understand this concept and the idea of what excites you in the present moment, you know what's going to happen? You're going to shift instantly, because now it dawns on you what excites me, and you make a decision, I'm going to do it, without going to your lower self where it will doubt and it will ask, what if? But your highest excitement from your higher self, the Christ-mindedness from a Christian biblical point of view, is showing you direction. The Abraham that needs to leave his home country towards the proverbial promised land. His highest excitement pushing him through, but not asking how it will happen. That's the lower self. But if you follow your highest excitement, eventually everything will fall in place. The alignment will take place. And now you're shifting instantly. Every moment that we are facing is a choice that you and I are making. Who do you decide to be right now? And when you decide to act on your highest excitement, what happens? You are making a shift immediately. When you say, I'm not going to tolerate this nonsense anymore, you are shifting already. It's though as if it is already happening. You are manifesting it already. You're shifting. Because now you're living from the end. You feel the joy, the confidence, the peace, and the happiness, the gratitude of your future self right now. You are connecting the future with the present moment. And when you do that, the future and the present moment has merged. They are one. Why? Because you are forever living in the present moment. Future and past is actually just an illusion. Because when you act on your highest excitement and you say, this is what I want to do with my life, and you become so excited and you seal it with gratitude about that new job, that new relationship, that new business idea. So what happens? The future and the present moment is connecting with each other. No more the present moment connecting with the past. You are free from that. You are shifting instantly. You are stepping into something new, although it's not happening yet, it's not manifesting yet. But the idea of this new business plan excites you, and you already see the outcome. It's just a matter of time before it will manifest. Before it will manifest, you first have to feel it. Feel the outcome now. That's how it works. It's a simple formula I'm giving you tonight. So, you live from the end. You feel the joy, the confidence and peace of your future self. That's the power of the shift. Let's take it further. I want to help you tonight. I hope I'm helping you tonight. Are you with me here tonight? Are you enjoying this whole broadcast? I know it's a wonderful teaching, but all of you tonight here, you are eager to learn and to grow. You want to follow your excitement, your highest excitement, in order to shift. You see, the power lies in this moment, right now, at 1 minute before 7 o'clock. The past does not define you anymore. You are not a victim of circumstances anymore. But you realize through your highest excitement that you are operating, you become a creator of your reality. The only thing that's holding you back is the belief that you are stuck. You're not stuck in a situation. It's not the situation that's holding you back. It's your belief system. Because the moment when you choose to think and believe differently, letting go of those old, outdated thought and belief systems, those clusters that do not serve you anymore, your reality shifts instantly, like instant pudding. You are not waiting for the future any longer. You are shaping it with every thought, action, and belief that you hold on now. Therefore, your future is not written. It is chosen in the present moment, waiting for you to unfold and manifest it through shifting to a new reality by letting go of the old belief systems and embracing the new, embodying it, as I said earlier, through what you feel already, though as if it is already happening. Breaking the loop, in summary tonight, has got to do with you to challenge that belief system. And I repeat, go back to those old belief systems, those 10 that's holding you back to the past. And ask yourself, is it actually a true fact? Can it be proven? Or is it just by hearsay? Is it just assumptions? Does it help me? Does it make me happy? This belief system, is it holding me back? Yes or no? Then we shift emotions consciously when we feel the success before it happens. This is the key tonight. Before it happens, you need to feel it. That's where visualization comes in. Sealing it with gratitude. And now, you're going to respond and react according to your emotions, to those emotions, by taking new actions. You are now stepping into the version of you who already has what you desire. Does that make sense? Watch here. I'm wearing a hat and a shirt. I can't go to work with this shirt. I don't think my colleagues will really appreciate it. It looks too much like a holiday. It's time for me later this year to have a break by the sea. So tonight I'm wearing the clothes. I'm wearing the hat already because, you know, the sun is a bit heavy there. I'm wearing it. What is it that you need to wear already to manifest the new you? What is it that you have to take out to manifest, to change? No, I'm doing it here tonight. So, it's just a matter of acting now on this excitement and book my ticket. And if I can't afford it, the intention is already there. That's what I say. I just want to show you the concept that I'm sharing with you tonight. There's the intention for your work, your business, your career. Your intention about your health, your mental health, for healing. Your intention about this relationship that you're now in. The intention about your finances. Your spiritual intentions. Assign an elevated emotion to it. Feeling empowered. How will I feel when I just book my hotel breakfast? I will feel empowered. I feel free when I start my own business. I will feel energized, gratitude, gratefulness, joyful, worthy, stimulated, motivated, satisfied, adventurous, unlimited. Oh, I feel in love with life. You assign an elevated emotion towards your intention. That's the beauty. Just by wearing the hat, I already feel different. There is a shift that's taking place. I hope this example that I'm sharing with you tonight is helping you and serving you also as in a good way to help you, that you can shift, you can change tonight on one condition, that you expose the limiting belief system and then act on what you really want through your highest excitement, assigning an intention to it, assigning to the intention in return, and elevated emotion or a whole cluster of new emotions. And what's going to happen? You will see an alignment. Synchronicities will follow. What is synchronicity? When everything falls in place, these so-called coincidences, when things happening, like a parallel reality, your world and my world become together. We've got so much in common with each other. Synchronicities, coincidences, so-called luck. You think of someone, that someone phones you. That's only possible when you act on your highest excitement. Then you go into this synchronicity. Synchronicity is the reward when you have escaped from the loop. When you're free from that and you don't buy any longer into the old, outdated belief systems. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all for tonight. What a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody. Mari, so beautiful. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments here tonight. Yes, you are the queen of your salon with your colorful hair that you are manifesting there. Yes, I love it. Keep on doing it because it must work. It will work. Just don't give up on yourself. Follow through. Yes, yes, yes. So wonderful to have you all here tonight. Thank you. Yeah, Ilani, this helps a lot. I'm glad. Thank you so much always for your beautiful comments that you give. Right. Remember, I can't give you any more slides. I don't have the time to give you the slides. Watch the show. The slides is on the show, okay? Because many of you asking me for the slides. I just don't have the time to go back to my computer to send it to you. I just simply don't have the time. There's too much. Because directly hereafter, I have to start with the process of editing the videos and uploading it onto the YouTube channel. So if you want the slides, just check. All the slides is here on this video and go back to the YouTube channel where everything is available for you. So thank you, everybody. It was wonderful here tonight, and I'm also very excited about the fact that our people from the YouTube channel, everybody joined us tonight. It was great to have you also on board here. And thank you, everybody, for your wonderful contribution. I am deeply grateful for you because the mere fact that you are giving responses like this tells me that this channel is working for you. It's helping you, and we are getting breakthrough tonight because you are shifting. Thank you, everybody. May you have a fantastic week because of one reason. You are acting on your highest excitement. Take care and be blessed.